Ты готов сыграть?
Да.
Подожди. Миш, у меня для тебя одно важное признание. В отличие от тебя 3-летнего, я 40-летний лоб. Играть в шахматы не умею. Поэтому мы тебе нашли достойного противника. Я приглашаю в эту студию 12-го чемпиона мира по шахматам, международного гроссмейстера, заслуженного мастера спорта СССР Анатолия Карпова.
What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day today. Bitcoin continues its slow grind downwards and sideways. Now, I know I haven't done a few updates, in a couple days, but the reason is because there really hasn't been much happening. However, it is the weekend. We have had the S&P have a little bit of a drop-off right here. You can see that wasn't exactly the greatest close. And we have also had the DXY pushing on this resistance, looking like it wants to break through. So what does this mean for Bitcoin as the Grizzly Reaper is knocking on the door? Literally, the Grizzly Bear Reaper. Everyone and their mother is scared. Where could the Bitcoin price be headed? Are we looking for a relief bounce, or are we destined for the capitulation wick? Well, now that we are getting very close to what I believe to be the end of this move, I do want to let you guys know exactly what I'm looking at, my targets, and how I would potentially be looking to trade this. And also, friendly reminder, guys, if you are trading over on Femex, keep in mind Bybit did actually add the KYC. So if you want to trade on a non-KYC platform, you can check out Femex, and they do have a $1,200 bonus, which is ending very soon. So if you do want to get that, make sure that you check the link below in the description of this video. But that being said, we need to talk about what is happening with the Bitcoin price. Also, the fact that we had Steven Mnuchin come out and actually say that he was kind of wrong about Bitcoin, which I thought was quite interesting. Stick around to the end. We do have a clip for that. And if that sounds good to you guys, obviously I don't want to waste your time with these boring updates, which is why I wait until I see something. And there is something happening right now in the Bitcoin chart that I do find very interesting. And if you want to see, well, definitely stick around for that, because it could kind of signal what could happen over the weekend leading into Monday. So let's talk about what potentially caused that little Bitcoin bounce that we saw over the past few days. You could see Bank of America reportedly has approved Bitcoin futures trading. Obviously, after years of bashing Bitcoin, America's largest banking establishment, Bank of America, seems to have completed its 180 turn. So they have approved Bitcoin futures trading. They plan to allow only a handful of clients to access the new services because of the large amount of margin that is required to trade these futures. It's worth noting that the bank was among the most vocal critics of Bitcoin in the past. Earlier this year, it published a paper in which it claimed that Bitcoin had failed as a store of value because it was too volatile and impractical. And we could see right here, we did have this little tiny bounce right here, but really not too much difference in the charts. In fact, you could see we have been consistently held down by this overhead resistance. We are sitting below all of the major moving averages. Everything is looking like doom and gloom for Bitcoin, right? Well, my last video that I put out, guys, I actually told you right here at this blue line that if Bitcoin fell below 32,615, that would be an excellent opportunity to put in a short. And we are still sitting below that level. So even though I haven't made a video in a few days, that trade would still be applicable today. In fact, if you did take that trade from top, even to where Bitcoin is sitting at the time of making this video, it's down about almost 3%, 2.8%. So depending on the leverage that you were using, if you were doing 10x, you would be about 28% in the green right now, having taken that short. So what would you be looking to do moving forward? Well, let's actually see what we have going on right here. Why don't we start at the bigger time frames, right? Let's look at the bigger picture before we look at the smaller time frames, because let's be honest, they're just going to rack your brains, right? So seeing right here, if we actually look, we have the two major moving averages that we have been looking for support over all of these past weekly moves. And you can see right here, if I pull down the exact numerical value, we have the 50 EMA sitting at around $33,787. Now, we have been supported by this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. And in all of these instances, we have pretty much dipped below it and then pulled back above it. However, well, with the exception of 2, we touched it exactly. But you can see right now, very, very clearly, very, very obviously, we are sitting below it again. Now, it's Saturday. This means we only have 24 hours for Bitcoin to close above $33,787, or else we can finally say for the first time that we have closed a lower weekly candle, and the bulls would certainly not really be in control in this instant. Now, we are sitting perfectly on the 50 regular daily moving average. However, as I said, guys, the more you push on these supports, some people say, oh, this is very bullish, we're forming a bottom. It could be. However, don't forget, the more you hit a resistance or support, the more likely it is to break through that resistance or support. And we've already hit this multiple times on multiple weekly candles. And I've told you guys, I'm not going to go over these again, but obviously we have a lot of support down here at around 28,600, with the next being our legacy trend line at around $25,798. Now, keep in mind, it is the weekend. We did have futures close. And if we look at this futures close, it is not looking good. Although we did have a bounce off of the support, you could see that we did start forming a bit of a trend line right here, right? Where we had these multiple touches, multiple closes right here. And then if we zoom in and see what's going on right now, you can actually see that we closed below that support. So it is very, very tight trading right now. Definitely, not the place to be. If you're scalp trading this, congratulations, guys. I'm really just looking for those bigger moves off of resistance supports or breakouts, right? The interesting thing too is not only do we see the Bank of America news, but we also saw the Bitfinex shorts, offloading right here. Some of these shorts were closing. Now, keep in mind, in order to close a short position, you essentially kind of have to go long, right, in order to close it. Oftentimes, we have seen these short squeezes, right, where you'll just see the price massively skyrocket up, and that's usually a pretty good sign for the bulls. However, we really didn't see a short squeeze. This guy, whoever he is, whoever they are, have been able to close these shorts really without seeing any crazy price action. I mean, you could maybe talk about this Bank of America news that pumped it up, but what do we always say? In bull markets, there's no amount of bad news that can stop the price action from going up. And in bear markets, there's no amount of good news that can stop the price from going down. Now, as you can see right here, we are literally on the edge of the cliff of the VPVR. Right behind me, you could see. And yeah, I mean, guys, we're sitting below the 200 daily. We've had 2 death crosses. We had a blood diamond over here, and we have extremely low volume, massive fear, and we're not seeing the buyers stepping in. Now, I would love to wake up on Monday and have a $2,000 Bitcoin candle to the moon. However, technically speaking, the charts are not showing us that that is what is happening. Not to say it couldn't happen. Anything can happen. But the charts, what we're seeing with the money flow, it's not looking very pretty for Bitcoin. In fact, you could see when we had lost this major support right here, when we actually got the blood diamond rejection, that was when I personally had put out my video and said, hey guys, this may not exactly be that great for Bitcoin. And I did say that we could have seen some long-term, mini sort of bear market, but long-term consolidation before having the rebound. However, at this point, it does beg the question, are we looking for one more capitulation wick, one more devastating push, almost a bear trap, right? Because so many people are bearish right now. It would make the most sense to have a quick wick down. Bears think they're winning and then instant reverse and bounce, right? That is the situation that could unfold. Now, we've talked about being in this range, nothing really happening right now. We're putting in a bit of an uptrend, so we're putting in higher highs. This is on the 30-minute chart, by the way. Lower highs on the 30-minute. But what I do want to point out, though, is if we do zoom in, and this is for like a lower time frame move, you could argue that we are potentially forming a diamond pattern. So you see how right here this actually makes a diamond. Now, guys, keep in mind this is on very low time frame. I mean, we're really reaching here for a move. But if this move does play out, and this could potentially happen over the weekend, so I want to let you guys know, if you do take this center move from top to bottom, and we actually put it right here, this is where we are right now, looking for that breakout, it could signal that Bitcoin could be looking for a relief bounce, maybe back up to that $33,300 level. But then keep in mind, guys, we have one resistance, we have 2 resistances, and we have the major resistance that's been holding us down this entire move. So this is going to be a very, very difficult level for the bulls to break through. It is possible, but I wouldn't be surprised to then see us, trend back downwards or something like that. Now, keep in mind, you also could take this pattern and look at it as a break to the downside if you do think that is a possibility, and that would bring us back down to about our $30,000 level. Also, just to warn you guys, if it does fall down here, and we come down into this area somewhere like this and we start bouncing around, then that would just be invalidated. So this is really only a play for like the next 24 hours. If we don't see that move to the upside, then the diamond is probably invalidated, right? But at the end of the day, you could see there's not much more room. I mean, you could see right here, early tomorrow, you're looking at some serious crunch time for Bitcoin, and we're going to have to make that decision. So if you are looking to trade that move, like I said, if we do have that breakout from this level, then I do think we could potentially go back up to 33,400, which at that point, I would probably be closing my longs just to be safe, or at least taking half off the table. So yeah, guys, I mean, once again, friendly reminder, if you are looking to trade this, you can do it over on Bybit. That is my preferred trading for Bitcoin, but with the new KYC implementations, a lot of people are preferring Femex currently. You do have a lot more options for spot, that is for sure. They do $10 a month unlimited trading, so it's a pretty good deal. And if you are interested, I do have the $1,200 bonus below, but make sure before you guys trade, don't just start trading. Watch the tutorial popping up above, okay? It's going to show you everything you need to know to trade responsibly and profitably, how to use stop losses, okay? It's all about risk management, but just wanted to point that out to you guys. Now, talking about what's happening right here, Lex pointed out that the negative stock to flow deflection is the highest that it's ever been in its entire history of Bitcoin. This is a great buying opportunity if you are a believer in the model. So, if you're a trader, you may want to scalp these positions. I've been trading very small, little moves here and there, but don't forget, I have a massive Bitcoin hodl position. I have a stack of Bitcoin that I do not touch no matter where price goes. So long-term hodlers will always be rewarded. And if you're not looking to trade and you're just looking to long-term hodl Bitcoin, I do believe we could still see a $100,000 Bitcoin by Christmas time or even by early next year. So looking at 33, still a really great opportunity for buying, right? You could potentially 3x your Bitcoin in the next 6 to 8 months. If you're trading, however, things could get a little bit crazy, right? Because as we've seen, like Ki Young Ju pointed out from over at CryptoQuant, looking at some of this on-chain data, yes, we've seen whales accumulating. Yes, we've seen lots of bullish data. We've seen bullish whale data on-chain for the past month and a half, and yet price continues to trade sideways and down. So take on-chain data with a grain of salt, but what we are seeing currently is a lot of whales are sending money to exchanges. We saw a massive Coinbase inflow. We saw a massive Binance inflow. Now, could the whales know that we're watching on-chain indicators and trying to fake us out? Is that a possibility? Yes, of course. But realistically, historically speaking, when you have lots of Bitcoin moving into exchanges, it's usually not a good sign. It usually means that they are looking to sell. Now, on the flip side, we've also seen a massive uptick in stablecoins as well, right? So, I mean, really, at this point, it's like, if you want to be bearish, you can find the bearish things in the chart. If you want to be bullish, you can find the bullish things in the chart, depending on your bias. But what I can tell you from actually looking at the structure of the chart, from really looking at what's happening right here, we are unable to reclaim any of these downwards moving averages. We are unable to get above the critical $39,000 area, which I had right here where we had this wick, and we are currently falling below the 50 EMA and maybe even potentially the 50 moving average as well. And we are also forming potentially what looks to be a giant descending triangle. I mean, if I zoom out right here, sorry for my internet's acting a little bit weird. You can see it's a little choppy today. The guys have been working outside, so I don't know, maybe they messed something up. But I mean, you could see right here, guys, this is just a massive descending triangle. You see what I'm trying to say? So even if we did have, that break all the way up to even 46,000, which would be amazing, I'd love to see that, we would still be in a giant descending triangle with an even smaller descending triangle. This is not very bullish, but I know you guys don't like when I talk about bearish things, but look, I told you during the bull run, when I was thinking like, we're going to go up, we're going to go higher, I was very, very moon boy, right? And a lot of people said, oh, you're a little too excited. Well, we saw what happened. We went from 10,000 to 65,000. Now, although the Wyckoff, sort of top did catch a lot of people off guard, I don't think it was the ultimate top for Bitcoin. I still think we're going to see that $100,000 Bitcoin. I just think short term, we got very excited. We pumped very hard, very fast. And now, we need a little bit of a break. But I do want to end on a positive note. And that is the fact that we did have this interview with Secretary of Treasury Steven Mnuchin over on Squawk Box, where he finally did admit, although he wasn't very super bullish on it, but he basically admitted hey, maybe I was wrong about Bitcoin. So I just want to play this clip for you super quick, and then we will get on out of here.
Ransomware or money laundering notwithstanding, and I don't know what Gary Gensler regulation actually looks like, but has your viewpoint on Bitcoin evolved at all, given when we had you on, I don't know, year and a half ago, and we're very almost dismissive? I mean, you've seen some of the giants in finance sort of come around after a while. Some of the great traders, some of the great investors, a lot of companies. I mean, has it evolved at all, or you're still a no Bitcoin, never type of no inherent value kind of guy?
Well, I think my view has evolved a little bit, but it is pretty consistent, which the first part of it is, I think the underlying technology of blockchain is really incredible and has lots of different things, particularly in fintech and finance. I think as it relates to Bitcoin, if people want to buy Bitcoin as a substitute, no different than buying gold or some other asset, it's fine. I don't personally want to have it in my portfolio, but if people want to do, I think that's perfectly fine. But I do think it's very important that this is an asset that has complete BSA and regulatory compliance. And matter of fact, under the OCC last year, we approved that banks could custodian it. And the reason we did that is because we wanted to make sure that this was becoming in the regulated world. So my real focus is, people want to buy it, that's fine. Some people will think it'll go up, some people will think go down, but it should be in the regulated world, and it should be fully BSA compliant.
So that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Not much has changed. If you want to know my longer term analysis, make sure you just go to my YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed, click the bell notification, and go check my videos out. Watch my previous video, the video before that. I go over everything that I'm looking for in this boring sideways consolidation. So if you want to know more of the bullish potential, go check out my video that I put out my 2 videos ago, and we talk more about the bullish scenario there. Like I said, short term, we could be maybe forming this diamond pattern. This would be invalidated very soon, probably within the next 10 hours of me putting this video out. And then if we do break to the downside, well, then we can just get rid of it, because now we're just back at the end of the bottom of the triangle. If we do break to the upside, then like I said, I'm looking for this cluster of resistances right here with the absolute highest move to probably about $33,800, but I would start getting cautious around $33,600. So that's the short-term analysis for Bitcoin. Hope you guys are enjoying your day, enjoying your weekend. And obviously, as I do see things that are worth speaking about, I will make videos. But if I don't see anything worth talking about, I'm not going to waste your time. There's a lot of analysts just making videos every $500 move. It really doesn't matter right now, guys. We're consolidating. We're waiting for a breakout or a breakdown. Nothing has changed. We're still in a downtrend. We're still under the moving averages. We're still pushing down on a descending triangle. Sure, we could have a little bit of a relief rally. I would actually expect there to almost be a relief rally, but that is that. And also, one thing I forgot to mention was we do have the CME futures gap, which is sitting at around $31,750. So I wouldn't really expect any crazy moves potentially until Monday, but that is it for me. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. You're the reason that I make these videos. And if you haven't seen these videos popping up right here, right now, make sure you click them, check them out. And until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.